Hello, I'm back for part 2 of our class, and this brings us to the case study. We're going to do a case study on aftershave, where we're going to see the first marketing brief is basically that traditionally men have used aluminum as an aftershave. With development in the standard of living, a lot more people are using aftershave lotions. We know that aftershave is not a basic necessity. And there are expensive and imported brands such as English Leather, Williams, Givenchy, and there is a need for cheaper. And so let's think of Old Spice and Monarch, which were launched during the 70s. At that moment in time, Old Spice captured a major market share. And in the 80s, there were new brands launched, such as Savage, Park Avenue, etc. And so the aftershave lotion market is getting more competitive. So what are the marketing issues? What points need to be addressed when we do this market research? First of all, we need to have the market share of various brands. We want to know the perception of consumers about Indian, because this is a case study from aftershave lotions in India, regarding foreign brands. We want to know the characteristics that an Indian man looks for when buying an aftershave lotions, why he doesn't change from one brand to another, or why he does. What is the purchasing behavior of this consumer, and how much of an impact does advertising have on this consumer? And the objectives of this research, so we're putting down everything and developing the research plan, are to find out consumer awareness about various aftershave lotion brands in the market, to study the buying behavior of consumers, the reasons for preferring a particular brand, and to study the perception of consumers about Indian brands versus foreign brands. Now, you can see how we've changed from the main issues that marketing has to research into how we've converted them to research objectives. So what are the research design? We have to include that in our research plan. So the type of research methodology that will be used, is exploratory research. And this will be done via 3 different types of exploratory research. There will be expert surveys, number 1. There will be pilot surveys, number 2. And there will be secondary data sourced from secondary sources, not what I've done for my specific research, but something that has been done for another research question. And we will analyze that qualitatively. We're not going to use statistics in this specific research. So what other sources of data can we use? Unfortunately, there is not a lot out there about the aftershave lotion market. So almost all of the information that we're going to collect is going to be primary based. And we're going to use the questionnaire method to obtain this information. And we are going to we have chosen these questions upon speaking to an industry expert. And then we will continue and conduct surveys by the researchers in the form of interviews. So the important thing is that we are going to collect almost everything from the primary source. We are going to use the questionnaire, and we have used the help of an industry expert in order to create these surveys, which will be conducted in the form of interviews. So the target population, remember, we have to specify the target population, sampling unit, etc., will be men, upper and middle income household groups that are living in Calcutta between the age of 20 and 50. The sampling unit will be the household. The sample size will be 150, and the sampling method will be purposive sampling. And so here we have created the questions for the specific questionnaire that our researcher is going to use as a basis for the interview with the people in this sample group, with the men in the sample group. So the first questions that we will ask is, do you use an after lotion? Yes or no? What brands of after lotion have you heard of? Which of the following brands have you heard of? And now we're not asking for their spontaneous questions. We are giving them a number of multiple choices that they can choose from. Number 4, If they have said yes, that they do use an aftershave lotion, which one are they currently using? And if you had to choose a different one, which one would you choose? Another question is, have you used other brands of aftershave lotion? And if so, why did you change? If you have changed, what were the reasons for changing your aftershave lotion? And if you haven't changed, what are your reasons for sticking to this aftershave lotion? Another question is, why do you wear aftershave lotion at all? Why do you use it at all? When do you use an aftershave lotion? And do you prefer, this is for Indian consumer preferences, do you prefer imported brands or do you prefer local brands? And why? Are you the one that buys the aftershave lotion? It could be that the person who is consuming the product, who is using the product, is not the customer, the one that is paying for the product or buying the product. So this is very important that we know who it is. And here we have to say when there are a number of factors that you can give the response of most important to least important. So for each of these factors, and then personal information, what age group are you in, et cetera, and what's your profession. That's it. This takes me to the end of part 2, and I will be right back with part 3.